Hello everyone, Derek Stam Toys, and we are back with another action figure review. Of course, if you watched the unboxing video, you've been expecting this, right? At least I would think so. Today we've got the Elite SummerSlam Wave Dolph Ziggler. I can't remember, is this like a part of the main line? Is this like its own line? I don't see a number on it. So it is just the SummerSlam Wave Elite Dolph Ziggler. Comes with the Mr. Perfect legs for the Build-A-Figure Mr. Perfect in the suit body. Maybe one of these days I'll have all the parts for the Mr. Perfect, but I don't really want the Hulk Hogan or the Zeus. Wouldn't mind having, what was it, Jay or Jimmy? Jay. Yeah, I couldn't remember which Uso's a part of this wave, and then the other one's a part of the top picks. Anyway, doesn't really matter. We've got the Dolph Ziggler in hand. What is probably going to be the last Dolph Ziggler Elite, as far as I'm aware of. Of course, he's been released from the company, so unless he comes back, expect this to be the last Dolph Ziggler Elite out there. Ooh, I have the camera a little out of frame. Doesn't really matter though. Why don't we break him out of his plastic prison? He's already kind of started to break out himself, as you can see up here. Yeah, I think I need to stop talking. Let's get him out, right? Alrighty, now that we've got the Dolph Ziggler out of his plastic prison, we can go over some of his accessories. Trying to speak a little too fast here, like I'm trying to knock this review out as quick as I can. Now, we gotta take our sweet time here, baby. So, first things first, the Mr. Perfect Build-A-Figure legs. Of course, this is the only one out of the wave I own. So, these are the only parts of this Build-A-Figure I own. Can say I do want to get the rest of this series, or at least the rest of the parts for this, if I don't get the figures themselves. Just because this suit is actually kind of neat. Now, yeah, they kind of took away the cool articulation that we used to get with the suited bodies, but I don't know if a lot of people have gone over this or not. If I can get the hip to move and pop back down. I don't know if you noticed that gap there, but they gave this leg, these legs, the drop down hips of an Ultimate Edition. So they took away the further leg articulation that we would normally get in the upper leg area and gave us the drop down hips. So I can at least kind of appreciate that, because we are no longer getting the OG suit formula that we used to get with the John Laurinaitis, the Michael Cole. I want to say JR had one, etc., etc. You get the point. And getting into some of his other accessories, we've got a set of mic holding hands and a set of here to show the world slappy you can't see me hands. I don't know what the hell those are supposed to be realistically. Let's wipe my hands through my hair hands and then flick them off into the crowd. Isn't that what Dolph Ziggler does? That's all I really remember those hands really being used for. Anyways, maybe I should just kind of shush up, get some hands in there, and then we can break down the figure a little bit, shall we? Alrighty, you guys. First things first, getting into this Dolph Ziggler. Let's check out this head sculpt. Of course, not the greatest head sculpt in my opinion. I like it. It looks good. Obviously, it looks like Dolph. I want to say we've been getting this head sculpt for the longest time, though. Would have been cool to get a different expression, but you know what? It's kind of whatever. It's not like we're going to be getting a new one anytime soon, right? So, other than that, taking a look at the attire, I love the all pink attire. It's got the rock and roll metal dude on his trunks all over the place. He's got the Satan pitchforks with some horns coming through his head. Also looks like he's wearing sunglasses, but I could also just be a little dumb. Oh no, he's definitely wearing sunglasses. And I am also just a little dumb. Anyway, he's got American flag, like ripples going through the front of his tights, of course. That is nowhere else to be seen on the rest of the attire. I also don't know why my camera will not stay in focus on this. It's being a little extra today. Getting into some of the other finer details, of course he's got black boots with white trim. He's worn those boots a lot throughout his years in the WWE. I want to say my other Elite Dolph Ziggler that I own, which I can now kind of put to rest now owning this, have the same exact boots. If anything, maybe the boot cut is a little bit shorter on these ones. I can't tell too much though. And of course he's got black wrist tape and all that good shish. But yeah, this Dolph Ziggler, really not like the biggest one to go home about, but if you're looking for a Dolph Ziggler with the updated formula, double jointed arms and all that good shish, maybe you might want to pick this one up. Now, of course, for the prices they're going for on eBay, maybe a little bit worth waiting if you can get it at a cheaper price, as I paid around like 35-ish bucks for mine in total, including shipping. Maybe a little bit more. I'm not exactly too sure though. But what I can say is this, or at least that's what I would have been paying full price. I want to say when I got these, it was buy one, get one 50% off. So I only ended up paying for one of these figures like full price, whether it be the Carmelo Hayes, the Scott Steiner, or the Dolph Ziggler. I don't know. But what I do know is this figure is still pretty good. Getting into some of the articulation, he can look down about that far, maybe not the greatest. He can look up about that high. Actually has a little bit more range than I thought it would for this Dolph Ziggler head sculpt. Of course it can go 360. I'd be careful with the ponytail though, that could eventually fall off the figure, as I've had it happen with my Paul Heyman. But we won't talk about Paul Heyman here, as we're in it for the Dolph Ziggler, right? So of course he's got shoulder articulation. My shoulder articulation was very tight. I actually kind of had to play around with it a little bit just so it would get down as far as it does now. But on top of that, he's of course got upper bicep swivel. His shoulder can rotate 360. He's got a double bend in the elbow, which makes it easier for him to grab his hand. Grab his hands, grab his head, do his entrance like poses and stuff like that. So of course, that's really good. Oh, before I forget, his wrist has swivel and articulation as well. He's got ab crunch that can go out about that far. He can bend back about that far. Pretty good standard ab crunch. His waist has swivel to it, can go 360. He's got upper thigh cut, which can lead for rotation, obviously. He can kick out about that far. Of course, when it comes to a Dolph Ziggler, gotta test out the super kick pose ability, and I'd say it's pretty damn good. Of course, he's got double bend in the knee, upper boot cut, and of course, unlike most figures nowadays, this ankle's already a little loose, so I don't mind showing that it's got ankle articulation and a little bit of ankle rock. Not gonna lie, I do also love the pink knee pads on this. But anyway, I think that's enough playing with the articulation for right now. Why don't I get them posed up and we can give our final thoughts about this Dolph Ziggler, shall we? Alrighty, now that I've got the Dolph Ziggler posed up in the final pose, got him hitting a zigzag on Braun Breaker, I want to say they had a pretty decent match down in NXT. Feel free to tell me I'm wrong. I want to say they also had a match on Raw too. I do remember that one a bit more vividly. But all in all, this Dolph Ziggler, it's a really good figure. Yeah, of course, Kind of wish we could have gotten a bit more of like a updated Dolph Ziggler like look, I guess you could say. Not that this like Ziggler isn't an updated look. I'm talking about like the head sculpt, get like a new head scan in. I just said that a little weird. I'm a little dumb tonight. I'm tired. Anyways, that's not an excuse. What are my final thoughts on this? Everything except for the head sculpt, in my opinion, is really good. Kind of wish maybe we could have gotten a jacket accessory. You know, of course, a little plain. But it'd be whatever. Honestly, it's not really a deal breaker not getting a Dolph Ziggler jacket. If I really needed to, I could always use a different jacket from a different figure. But all in all, it does kind of knock off a little bit of brownie points that could have gone towards this figure, in my opinion. And with that, I think this Dolph Ziggler can get a good solid 7 out of 10. We'll say a good solid 3 out of 5 stars. Nothing too special and out of the ordinary. It's just kind of like another Dolph Ziggler. Great attire though. Decent head sculpt. Everything moves and poses around quite well. And look, he's holding that zigzag pose too, fresh out the box. This is what you like to see. And I think 7 out of 10 is a pretty good solid rating, at least in my opinion. Of course, you guys may have your own opinion, just kind of like assholes, we all have one. Doesn't really matter though. What does matter, because we're gonna get out of here. If you liked the video, feel free to like the video. If you didn't, meh, that's alright too. Don't really care. That's fine, you know. You can feel that way about the video. It's still actually gonna be a little over 10 minutes this time. Kinda shocked. Didn't think I'd make it this long. But with that being said, shouldn't get too sidetracked. If you guys would like to subscribe, feel free to subscribe. It's also free. And if you guys are also looking forward to more action figure reviews, we've got plenty that are going to be on the way out. Along with pick-fed content, I'm working on Night 2 of the Holiday Tour. Which, speaking of the Holiday Tour, Night 3, I'm thinking about doing commentary for it. I don't know if I want to though, because I don't want to treat these like their normal weekly episodes. This is just kind of like a little live event tour kind of ordeal. Also helping me heat up a little bit more things for Absolute Carnage. But besides that point, feel free to follow me on Instagram under the same exact name. Should also be in the description, but I've been a little lazy and forgetting to put the descriptions in there when I've been uploading the video. So the past like 5 or 6 videos may not have a description in them. Sorry for that. Kind of been a little lazy and just kind of forgetting to put one in there. Whoops. They'll probably be in there at some point, because when I do this, I do tend to go back and edit the descriptions back in there after the video's been uploaded, but that's whatever. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I hope you're excited for the next one. Deuces, my dudes.